Hey guys, it's Tommy and Lisa again, and we're here to review the new episode 207 this week.
Traumatic event. And I feel like I need to stop saying, okay, this was the best episode ever, because they just keep getting better, and we have a lot more episodes to go through this
one was really funny.
Oh, it was, I think this was like, we've been dealing with a lot of kind of serious things, like the Mike and Brittany stuff and all that kind of stuff, and this was just like good, funny material.
And there was really great writing, too.
Yes! I have to really hand it to Gopher and Shane because, they're awesome friends for doing... This is the second time they've done something like this. Do you remember last semester they pulled the fire alarm so they could find her?
Right.
And, like, this time, they orchestrated this entire... They had to time it so that she would get in the elevator, and then he would get in the elevator, and then they'd shut the power off, and...
They're very mischievous and...
Yeah, but they're, like, mischievous geniuses.
Yeah. However, unfortunately, Jamie turns out to be boring.
Well, yes. And here's the thing.
How awesome is that?
Before we were like, why does she not get it that he is totally into her?
Right.
Well, she's kind of selfish. She's just so self-absorbed that... Not selfish, but she's just self-absorbed, and it was just like... He would try to say something, and she's like, yeah, I know, because just like this one time when something
completely ignoring whatever he was talking about.
That has nothing to do with what he was saying.
He has a lot of angst, and he's nervous about getting into pharmacy school. And I can totally relate to that.
Yeah, this guy knows.
But she wasn't even paying attention. And I know people that do that, and it's so frustrating to talk to them, because it's like you begin to share your stories and your troubles, and... It just all gets reflected right back onto them. And I don't think that that Danny B clearly liked that at all about her.
Well, who would? I mean, you spend all this time and energy like trying to show your interest in this person, and now you find out that they just don't care about anything.
She's not who you thought you were.
Yeah.
And Gopher really had a great line toward the end of
when you take the mystery out, she's just a hot girl, and sometimes hot girls are lame.
Hot girls can be lame, which is very true.
Yeah.
And that's great advice. Possibly the best advice that Gopher has ever given.
I think you might be right. Thank goodness for Gopher, because otherwise Danny would have never talked to a girl. I'm glad that now Danny B can move on, and it's not because he gave up, it's because he found out that this really wasn't for him.
I'm ready for him to move on.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I've been kind of ready for him to move on just because it's been kind of painful to watch him keep trying and
There's always been something about her. I liked her a lot at first.
She's just aloof,
but
and now we know why.
Yeah, because she's very self-centered.
She's just very self-absorbed, yeah. So one has to wonder, where will he move next?
What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, we saw stuff in the trailer about him. It looked like him and Courtney. You're
right, we did.
And I feel like that's kind of the next place it's going to go, but I just have to wonder, like, how is that going to happen? We noticed last week that Josh has really shifted from being the good friend and caring about Mike to just being a documentarian and kind of thriving on his pain. And, like, he is really egging him on. Like, nobody cares about the Markers game. And I love that he was
saying
like...
his misery is... Your misery is the only thing that's holding this production together.
Like, basically, he started out because he wanted to do this documentary and reveal the truth, and now he's even skewed that to being like, well, I'm just going to try to...
cast a negative light on
Mike. Yeah.
And Mike had a really good point, like, saying...
Doesn't that defeat the purpose of a documentary?
If you're the one that's creating the drama, and that's so true. The thing is not just that he's being a bad friend, is that he should know that he's not really creating art that way.
These, like, emergency situations are... I think this is where we really see why Marshall is an RA. A lot of the time, I think it's like, he doesn't really relate to the students very well, and you're kind of like, why does he do this, except for, like, the power and authority that comes with being an RA.
Yeah.
But, like, he kind of really lives for these emergency moments and kind of, like, makes a lot out of them, but... You know what I mean? Like, this is where he's really kind of, like, in his element. Oh, and I love that we got to hear Dean on the radio and everything. I also love that Dean gave Danny B a conversation starter in the elevator.
That is so like Dean to do that.
Shane and Gopher, like, they not only did they do all of this, like orchestrate all of this for Danny B's benefit, but they also made it fun for everyone else. And what I think is interesting is that Marshall is playing all these games with them, and like they kind of seem like they were having fun with Marshall. And I think like this is really kind of sad for Mike. I think it's to the point that they would rather hang out with Marshall than hang out with Mike. One other person who is not playing games in the hallway is Steph. Because she's having Steph's Story House, reading another installment of Abby's diary.
The journal.
And it's so funny. She's got this like goofy music in the background. Once again, where did she get her music? And then she's like reading by candlelight.
We heard her talk for the second time.
Possibly, we might never know.
It was definitely.
But
her.
I think it was definitely her. And here's what I want to know: did she want to be there so that she could kind of hang out with Gopher?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm so glad you agree with me on this! Yay!
I do.
Okay, sorry, I'm freaking out.
I think she's intrigued by him now.
I think because like
it's the prospect of a different life and a new strange...
and he's like reaching out to her.
Here's the interesting thing.
Okay.
Why would Steph choose to stay inside of her room when she could be out there with Marshall during the emergency?
I wondered that too. Like, why wasn't she out there? And I kind of feel like it wasn't a big deal. Like, she just wanted to take the opportunity to, like,
because I can imagine that Abby
diary.
would not be out of her room very often.
Right.
And so maybe this is
like her one chance
to read it.
Don't you think that Steph and Josh are acting very similarly by kind of exploiting their roommates?
Yes, very good point. Let's move on to thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yes.
My thumbs up this week goes to Gopher. And you might ask, why Gopher and not Shane? Well, I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because Gopher, in addition to being a co-mastermind of the whole traumatic event, also gave Danny B some excellent advice at the end about how sometimes hot girls can be boring.
I couldn't pick between the two of them, but now that you pick Gopher, I will pick Shane, and I'll say thumbs up Shane, and I will say that this is the second time that he has initiated a major event that was for the purpose of bringing Danny B and Mystery Hot Girl together, because he was the one who ran out and pulled the fire alarm last season.
Moving on to thumbs down.
Okay.
This week, I am again so disappointed with Josh.
Yeah. I knew you were going to say that.
And for all the reasons I said it earlier.
Yeah.
You know.
And I'm the same. I'm definitely thumbs down Josh. Like, this is to the point where it's like, dude, this is crossed the line. Who to watch? I kind of want to watch Abby because, you know, it seems like she's kind of coming out of her shell a little bit.
She's talked for the second time now.
Yeah. I'm convinced. That was her.
I believe it was her,
It
too.
had to be her. Mm-hmm. So, and of course, like, we saw that she had a positive reaction to Gopher's Valentine's thing. So, I just kind of want to see, like, if she starts coming out of her shell a little bit more.
How cool would that be?
What? You are totally on my side about this now. Like, I was saying from the very beginning that I was like, how awesome would this be? And you're like, nope, it'll never happen. Nope, no way.
But
never
what if
happen.
she's like a really cool girl on the inside?
I'm sure she is a really cool girl.
I bet. She seems cool. I have no idea. There's no way.
I'm so glad. I've like
know.
converted you to Gopherism.
I will be watching Danny B to see how he's going to react to Jamie at this point. Personally, I would like to see him move on because I think that he has seen enough of her and came to kind of an epiphany about her that was sort of long overdue. But I'm glad that he's finally seen who she really is and is kind of able to break down a lot of the infatuation that he's had for her in the past. And now can see past that, and, you know, maybe she's lame. Maybe she's lame. She is in an a cappella group.
Oh, what are you saying?
I'm not saying anything.
Are you saying a cappella is lame?
No. Marshall's in one, too. So, we will see you guys next week. Is there anything big coming around?
Well, next week's going to be it's going to be a tad late. It might be a day or two behind, because will be on vacation.
So stay patient, guys. Keep watching.
It might be a middle of the week thing, like a hump day treat.
It'll be something to look forward to later on in the week.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see you then. Bye.